He pulled the bolt and bored out the collet with the hand drill, and re-sleeved it with a section of pipe he'd cut to length with a hacksaw. Then he bolted it all back together, and stood the cart upright and wheeled it around the floor. It ran fairly true. The boy sat, watching everything. The protagonists of The Road, the man and his son, carry all of their worldly possessions in their cart. For them, the cart is essential. It means the difference between life and death, as it contains everything: their blankets, food, water, and a pistol with 2 bullets left, that keeps them from freezing, starving, or being defenseless in the face of the roving gangs of cannibals that rule the countryside. While the idea of ordinary hard-working people being reduced to nothing but a shopping cart may seem like a foreign idea, it has happened in real life. One only has to look back to 2005 when this issue plagued Louisiana and Mississippi during Hurricane Katrina. Ordinary people used garbage cans and mattresses to float away, with everything from food and clothing to TVs and guns. As fires roared from broken natural gas mains, hundreds of people made the exodus down Interstate 10, the only major freeway leaving New Orleans, carrying their few belongings and nothing else but a shopping cart or laundry rack. They waved their empty water jugs at the passing cars as they waded in dirty water containing deceased victims. "It was terrible," said 40-year-old Kevin Montgomery. "All I could do was pass them by and hope that God takes care of the rest of that."
The New World in The Road has very few people in it. The few left wander aimlessly throughout the country, searching for food and safety. The death of the world can be postulated to be due to nuclear attack. Nuclear energy is one of the cleanest ways to power the world. No burning produces carbon monoxide or dioxide, only water vapor and nuclear waste. The waste is the biggest problem, but it's easily stored away for centuries until it decays. The process is relatively safe, but there's always the pressing possibility of a meltdown, total loss of control of the reactor. Human error brought this possibility to life in the 1986 Chernobyl disaster. Nearly 4,300 square kilometers of land were made unlivable in Ukraine, all because of poorly trained staff and a badly engineered plant. Similarly, a tsunami caused a reactor in Fukushima, Japan to go into meltdown, releasing extreme levels of radiation, causing several prefectures or regions of Japan to be uninhabitable for 20 years or more, displacing thousands of people who were unaffected by the tsunami that ravaged the coast. In addition to the damage wrought by the direct result of reactor leakages, those exposed to the extreme levels of radiation have higher risk of cancers and other mutations, affecting them and possibly even their offspring, having lasting damage for generations to come.
The struggle of finding food was present throughout The Road, especially after so much of it had been previously looted. When the man and boy finally came across an untouched bomb shelter full of food and supplies, they almost cannot believe what they are seeing. The boy even questions if it is theirs to take. "Dear people," he said, "thank you for all this food and stuff. We know that you saved it for yourself, and if you were here, we wouldn't eat it no matter how hungry we were, and we're sorry that you didn't get to eat it, and we hope that you're safe in heaven with God." Hurricane Katrina again provides a real-world example of how people can be driven to looting in an emergency. New York teachers Jared Wood and Aaron O'Shea found themselves in the French Quarter when the hurricane hit, and were forced to join the looters in scavenging for food. Police at the time were defenseless against the myriad of looters, who on one occasion were documented using a forklift to break through the storm shutters of a pharmacy. As police struggled to save lives, all they could do was stand by and watch, as looters stole everything in sight. Wood and O'Shea, like the man and the boy, maintained that they were the good guys, and only took what they needed. As they entered a Winn-Dixie supermarket through its shattered window, they quickly got soup, power bars, and soy milk, as others made off with cases of soda and beer. Their scariest moment came when Wood tried to take a picture of the looters and was almost shot by someone who did not want evidence of their crime. As others looted pharmacies for drugs to feed their addictions, all O'Shea wanted was a Star magazine. She planned on sending a check to the Winn-Dixie for $50 when she got back to civilization. Like the boy, she recognized the extenuating circumstances that drove her to do something she would never do otherwise, and promised to offer up her thanks. The dystopian world of the road, according to the man, is separated into the good guys who are carrying the fire and the cannibalistic bad guys who only look out for themselves and constantly threaten the safety of him and his son. A flashback provides a glimpse into how this came to be. Many people traveled the road, and some offered assistance to each other. Within a year, however, there were fires on the ridges and deranged chanting, the screams of the murdered. By day, the dead impaled on spikes along the road. The separation of people into factions, resulting in senseless violence, is not something that only happens in the world of dystopian literature. In 1992, Los Angeles was plagued by a similar issue. What became known as the LA riots began with the beating of a black motorist, Rodney King, by 5 police officers. These police officers were then acquitted by a nearly all-white jury. What followed was the largest urban uprising in United States history. What fueled the riots? Racial tensions have been raising up in Los Angeles over many years. Blacks felt the Latinos were intruding on their neighborhoods. There was also marked racism of the blacks toward Korean store owners who worked in the inner city, who reciprocated the sentiment with discriminatory high prices. The Koreans risked robbery and violence in their shops on a daily basis. A lack of leadership from Black Mayor Tom Bradley, an absence of cooperation or communication on behalf of white Chief of Police Daryl Gates, created a universal division in the city. The atrocities of the LA riots were created by hatred of others simply because of race. Gang shootings happened daily, the city was a nightmare, and innocent people were caught in the crossfire. 53 people were killed, and $1 billion in property damage was done in just a matter of 6 days. A look at these riots makes the post-apocalyptic world of the road seem like even greater a possibility. At the height of the riots, Rodney King begged of the city, "Can't we all get along? We've just got to. We're all stuck here for a while. Let's try to work it out." This poignant request that fell on deaf ears answers the question of why people in the world of the road can never just get along. Although the National Guard and the Marines eventually ended the LA riots, there was no such presence to stop the cannibalistic bad guys. They had assumed their roles as predators, and they are not going to give that status up.
The collapse of the Soviet Union led to severe damages to their dependents. North Korea, for example, relied on fertilizer shipments from the USSR to feed its people. Without these regular shipments, the amount in food in North Korea dropped severely, leading to a famine that took the lives of 1 million people. The effects of the lack of food are still felt today, with the Eat 2 Meals a Day campaign being the reality for many of the 22 million Koreans. The nation is again facing a severe food hardship, with the national food distribution system not operating up to par. The famine, coming again, is a dark shadow of reality towards the effectiveness of the nation, and mirrors the fear of not eating that many people, including the man and the boy, face. To combat starvation, people will do nearly anything. In the 1990s famine, there were reports of cannibalism, taking children from their families and killing them for meat. The extent of dehumanization when food isn't available is appalling. The need for survival is too great for some people to keep their dignity, and become the savages that prowl the roads, keeping herds of starved men and women as cattle, killing without any thought other than the survival of their self.